Am I the asshole? I refuse to let my stepdaughter call me Dad. I, 35 male, married my wife, 34 F, 5 years ago, and she has a daughter, Emily, now 11, from a previous relationship. Emily's biological father has been mostly absent throughout her life, only showing up sporadically for birthdays or holidays. From the moment I married her mom, I've stepped into the role of her primary father figure. I help her with her homework, cheer her on at her soccer games, and do all the little things dads do, like building her science projects late at night or helping her pick out a dress for her school dance. To me, she's my daughter, even if it's not by blood. Recently, Emily and I were watching a movie together, something we often do on our movie nights. In the middle of the movie, she paused it and turned to me looking unusually serious. She asked, "Can I call you Dad?" I was stunned. I had no idea she'd been thinking about this, and for a moment, I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to say yes immediately because hearing her ask felt like such an honor, but I hesitated. After a long pause, I told her no. I explained to her that while I loved her like my own daughter, I wasn't her biological father. I told her I didn't want to take that title away from her real dad, even if he wasn't very involved in her life. I thought I was doing the respectful thing by drawing this boundary. I wanted her to know that I wasn't trying to replace anyone, and that her relationship with her biological dad, however small, was still important. Her face fell, and I could see tears welling up in her eyes. She didn't say anything but just nodded, unpaused the movie, and sat silently for the rest of the night. I tried to comfort her, but she brushed me off and went to bed early. The next day, my wife approached me. She told me Emily had cried herself to sleep and now felt rejected. My wife said she was heartbroken for Emily because calling me Dad wasn't about replacing her biological father. It was about recognizing me for the role I've played in her life. My wife said I should reconsider, as this was a big deal for Emily, and she needed to feel validated and loved. Hearing this hit me hard. It made me realize how much this might have meant to Emily and how my response could have been interpreted as rejection, even though that was the last thing I wanted to convey. I thought I was being respectful of her biological father, but now I'm second-guessing myself. Emily has been distant since that night. She's still polite, but she doesn't seem as eager to spend time with me, and our usual routines feel strained. I've tried to talk to her, but she just says, "I'm fine," and changes the subject. My wife has been giving me space to figure things out, but I know she's upset with me too. She said Emily sees me as her dad in every way that matters, and my refusal probably made her feel like I don't see her the same way. Now, I'm wrestling with this internal conflict. On one hand, I love Emily and want her to feel safe, loved, and accepted. On the other hand, I thought I was being fair by not stepping on her biological dad's toes. But the more I think about it, the more I wonder if I made the wrong choice. Maybe I was too focused on the idea of what's respectful and not enough on what Emily truly needed from me. I've been replaying that moment in my head over and over again. If I could go back, I think I'd respond differently. I don't know how to fix this now. Should I sit Emily down and tell her I've changed my mind? Would that undo the hurt I've caused, or would it feel like I'm only saying yes out of guilt? I want her to know that I'm here for her, no matter what, but I'm scared that I've already damaged our relationship. The days following that conversation with Emily were heavy. The usual joy in our household felt muted, especially between Emily and me. She still interacted with me, but it was distant, like there was a wall between us that hadn't been there before. She used to greet me with an excited, "Hey," when I got home from work, but now it was just a quiet nod or a simple, "Hi." The change was subtle but unmistakable, and it hurt more than I expected. I spent a lot of time thinking about why I'd said no. Was it really about respect for her biological dad, or was it something deeper? Maybe it was fear of taking on the full weight of the title Dad and the responsibility it carried. Being a stepdad always felt slightly different. There's an unspoken understanding that you're in a support role, not the leading one. Accepting the title of dad felt like stepping into a space I wasn't sure I was allowed to occupy, even if Emily wanted me there. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how wrong that perspective was. I've been her dad in every meaningful way for years. I've been there when she was sick, helped her navigate her first crush, and cheered her on when she scored her first soccer goal. I was there for every scraped knee, every tear, every late-night chat about the things that scared or excited her. What more could the title dad mean than that? Emily wasn't asking me to replace anyone. She was acknowledging what we already had. One evening, I decided to try to talk to Emily again. She was in her room, drawing in her sketchbook, a hobby she'd taken up recently. I knocked softly on her door, and she looked up but didn't say anything. I stepped inside and sat down on the edge of her bed. "Emily," I began, my voice hesitant, "can we talk for a minute?" She shrugged. "About what?" "About the other night," I said, "when you asked me if you could call me Dad." Her hand paused mid-doodle, but she didn't look up. I took a deep breath and continued. "I've been thinking a lot about what I said to you, and I think I made a mistake." That got her attention. She put her pencil down and finally looked at me, her eyes searching mine. "I said no because I thought I was doing the right thing by respecting your biological dad. But the truth is, I wasn't thinking about how you felt. I was so caught up in what I thought was right that I didn't realize I was hurting you." Emily's eyes filled with tears, and I felt my own throat tighten. "I want you to know," I said, my voice breaking slightly, "that I love you, Emily. I've loved you like my own daughter since the day I met you, and if calling me Dad is what feels right to you, then I'd be honored." She didn't say anything at first, but then she threw her arms around me, burying her face in my chest. "I just wanted to feel like I have a dad," she said through her tears. "Not someone who's halfway in my life, but someone who's really there." I held her tightly, feeling the weight of her words and the relief of finally saying what I should have said days ago. "You've always had that, Emily," I told her. "You've always had me." After that, things slowly began to mend. Emily started calling me Dad in small moments, first tentatively like she was testing the waters, and then more confidently as time went on. Hearing her call me Dad for the first time felt like a gift I didn't even know I needed. My wife, too, noticed the shift and later told me how proud she was of me for reconsidering. She said it meant the world to Emily and to her, and that she was grateful I'd taken the time to reflect and make things right. There's still a part of me that wonders how her biological dad might feel if he ever finds out, but I've realized that it doesn't matter as much as I thought it did. What matters is Emily and the relationship we've built. She chose me to be her dad, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. And that's a bond I'll treasure forever. For more interesting daily life stories, make sure to subscribe and comment your ideas. I will be posting more stories about a lot of aspects of life. Thanks for watching. See ya!